Welcome. You are about to enjoy the W2H Podcast, the podcast that connects public land hunting enthusiasts. I'm your host, whether you like it or not, Eric Clark. All right, welcome to the show. Again, my name is Eric, and I'm happy to have you. Thanks for listening. Always appreciate the support and the camaraderie that goes into hunting overall. This community wouldn't be a community without all these fans, or the few of you that might be listening. We're not sure. Anyway, wanted to just talk about a few things before I get into the interview with our guest of the week. I did happen to see an article this week by Wisconsin Outdoor News, or Outdoor News, the Wisconsin page. I'm subscribed to their newspaper, so it comes in the mail every day. One thing, or actually not one, a couple things. I got, let's see here, 3 different things I wanted to just touch on here, okay? Now, the buck only situation that's going on for the 2014 hunt is for 19 forest deer units. That's going to be the northern state. The northern part of the state, the northern forest units, as some of you might already know, obviously. What I'm concerned about personally is one of the parts of this actually talks about who can still shoot bucks. It says youth hunts will still be allowed, disabled hunters will still be able to take bucks, and also active military personnel. Here's my concern or question is with that. It's active military personnel home on leave. So big question mark there. If you're a reservist, if you're an active reservist, does that still apply? If you're an active duty service member, Marine, you're in the Army, you're in the Air Force, you're a seaman, you're in the Navy, whatever it might be, do you actually have to only be home on leave? So kind of interesting there, a little bit concerned. Got a lot of service members, I'm sure, that are going to want to hunt this year, obviously, especially if they're home. But if they're already home and they're active in the military, I guess I'm just not sure. They could be stationed here. There's enough stations here in Wisconsin. We got the bulk fuel unit up in Green Bay, and we got Fox Company in Milwaukee. I think there's another, at least as a Marine Corps bases that I'm aware of. There's another one out in Madison area. Anywho, the other bigger concern is with this happening, you got to think there's not potentially going to be as many hunters up north if they can't get does. Some people only hunt for meat. They don't care about the bucks. They don't want the trophy. Not to mention there's not that many bucks up there in the first place. So I'm kind of concerned that this could create a surplus of hunters in the southern farm units or farmland units. So just something to think about. I'll bring it up on the Facebook page as a topic of discussion. Hopefully we get some bites and some good conversation going. Hopefully everyone can keep it friendly. You guys usually do, so that's cool. And finally, what will the impact be? How many years will they do this? Is it 1 year? Is it 2 years? Is it going to be predicated on actually seeing the herd numbers increase? So I just wonder about that as well. I personally don't think it's the worst thing in the world. I miss hunting up north. I love hunting up north. It's different than any other place I've ever been. It's an experience, an experience worth having if there's deer. And if there's not, it's whatever, that's just how it is. That just because you don't see any doesn't mean there's not deer. That could be all on you as a hunter. It's hard to say. So what I'll do is I will get into the interview. Today we do have a special guest, and I will go ahead and get that clipped in here. So here we go. All right, today I have a special guest on the show. I'd like to welcome Lauren Hamilton of Public Land Guiding and Outfitting. How you doing today, Lauren?
I'm doing good. How are you?
Hanging in there, staying busy like usual, but I'm happy that you took time out of your day and out of the woods to guest on the show.
Well, I appreciate you having me.
So right out the gate, I guess just looking to ask you a couple questions. Tell us about yourself.
Well, I'm 55. No, I'm 55. I own my own guiding and outfitting business. I started it up just help people, give them a good price on a hunt and give them a chance at a big deer. I've been bow hunting for 43 years. That's my passion. If I'm not working, I'm in the woods. And if it's not hunting season, I'm scouting. That's all I do. I hunt, scout, and work.
So you live in the woods. You could probably be friends with Sasquatch if he was around.
Well, I wouldn't run from him.
Well, I got to ask you a question, though. I'm just curious where to hunt. We're all about public land. I'm just wondering why you hunt public land instead of private.
Well, I have 80 acres up by Hurley, Wisconsin. You go up there and there's not a deer on it. And it used to be you couldn't walk 10 steps and jump deer, but now the wolves have just taken over it. But I hunt public mostly because of the variety of places to hunt. I mean, here in Wisconsin, we got hundreds of thousands of acres of public land, and it's just, why would you want to pay $3,500, $4,500 to go over in Buffalo County or wherever over there for a big outfitter like that and have just as much of a chance of shooting a deer as you would with me for what I charge, which is way less.
Sure.
You know, but there's just as many deer on public, if not more, than on the private land. You just got to spend the time to go find them.
Well, I think at that rate, it's a bigger trophy anyways, not maybe the actual size of deer, but just you earned it. You didn't pay someone to go.
You do. Right. You have to work.
Area.
I mean, yeah. Now with me, I mean, I'll be doing outfitting and guiding, so I do all the work, and I tell people you get your license to get here, and I take care of the rest. But it just, it's still a hardcore hunt. We carry our stands in and out every day. Some of my sets are 150 yards into the woods. Some of them are 3 to 4 miles back in. It just depends on the individual.
And that's humping, right? You're walking back. You're trekking through stuff. You're not using ATVs or gators or anything like that?
Nope, not allowed to have any motorized or any kind of transport on public land.
Yep, you got it. That's awesome. Follow the rules, too. That's great.
Yep.
Some of the questions I had for you about what you do. Now, I don't want this to seem brash, but, if I were to pick you over someone else, I guess I'd like to know, or have you sell me. Why would I choose you over someone else?
Well, I've got 43 years hunting experience, although bow hunting experience. My camps, by the way, are strictly bow hunting. I don't do gun hunting. I gave up gun hunting a long time ago. I'm strictly a bow hunter. I know how to set up for bow hunting. I live and breathe bow hunting. I've killed, I don't even know how many deer I've killed, but I mean, I've hunted elk, bear, mule deer, and everything with a bow. I know what I'm doing out in the woods. And I just, people come up, they'll find out. We have fun in camp, but it's hardcore. I put the boot to dirt and get out and find a deer. People ask me all the time when they book hunts, where are we going to be hunting at? And I said, well, it's going to depend on where I find a deer. I'm out in the woods constantly scouting new public land or land that I haven't hunted or been on and looking for new spots. If I find deer, I go out and sit on roads and get my spotting scope and look for deer. I spend a lot of time looking for deer. And once I find them, then I go in and find where they're traveling. I'm scouting from the end of bow season or into hunting season. That's when my scouting starts. As soon as the season's over, I'm out in the woods looking for sheds, looking for sign that was there from the year before, travel corridors, funnels, and such. I spend a lot of time, scouting.
Might be safe to say you probably think like a deer at that point. You're running through their funnels and all that. That's you getting some pretty thick stuff doing that.
Yeah, well, but sometimes you got to become the animal.
That's just it, honestly. And I like that when people ask you where are you going to be taking us? Where are we hunting? I'm going to take you where the deer are. Why? And not to say that just because you went somewhere great one year doesn't mean it's going to produce again. So
exactly.
You got the right idea for sure. Tell us about your camps. What makes your service and your guided service and hunts and outfitting unique? What do you bring into the table as far as providing the outfitting?
My camps. I mean, I've been out west elk hunting, Colorado, and all, and been in the old style tent camps, big canvas tent, stove in it. Everybody wants to do that, a big hunt like that. That's the kind of hunt I'm going to offer here in Wisconsin. We're going to be out of a tent camp, stove in a tent, awesome food, really good food. But we're going to be hunting out of camp. You'll have a heater. Most of my camps will be in campsites. So I have electricity because I had some disabled hunters coming. I have handicapped people coming, and one of them's on a ventilator and stuff, so he needs electricity. So I have to be able to provide that. But I make it as rustic as I can, but I you got real toilets, showers on some of them. Some of my spots we're out in the boondocks. You wash up with what water we got there in camp, and that's the way we do it. No electricity, no toilet. You go out behind the trailer or in the woods to do your thing.
Sure. No, and you use a good word too, rustic. You paint a nicer picture. That's good to know. So it's going to be dependent on the person, I guess. So if you have someone that can handle a little bit more of an extreme type of climate or conditions, you can do that too. You can kind of get off the beaten path.
Yeah, exactly. I got my dog I'm trying to deal with, but go ahead.
Sure. Do you bring the dog with you when you go hunting? Ever take him out of the woods for shed or anything like that?
No, he's a big old pit bull and he's just a big baby, but he's not trained for anything. I wish I'd have trained him for shed hunting, but I didn't. He's just a house dog. He's just a big lug, but no, I don't take him out. Everybody wants me to bring in the cat so they can meet him, so I'll probably have my roommate bring him out so everybody can meet him. But it's just when you're deer hunting, the last thing you want is a carnivore scent on your body.
Yeah. Good to know. I guess some of the other questions, they're all pretty straightforward, really, but how many hunters are allowed in one of your groups if you're taking someone out?
My camps run from anywhere from, I'll have one guy in camp. I got a family coming, there'll be 4 people. I try to keep it down to 3 to 4. Like sometimes I'll have, I got a TV show coming up to film, and they'll have 2 hunters and 2 camera guys. So I'll have 4 guys at camp. I try to keep it no more than 4, just so I can, so I can give them the service that they deserve.
Yeah, fantastic. Yeah, you're spreading yourself too thin, and you're dealing
with,
do you do any deer drives or anything like that? I know you said it's with bow only, so I was wondering about that.
No, we go straight in while we hang in trees, or if somebody's afraid of heights, we'll set up ground blinds. Not real productive in a ground blind. I don't like hunting in ground blinds, but some of them that disable people, we have to do ground blinds, and I got other areas that are just overrun with deer that they're my go-to spots if I really have to kill a deer. So it's, fill my doe tags or whatever, but it's hardcore. We go in and we hunt hard.
Well, that's good to go. Are they hanging the stands themselves, or are you doing that ahead of time?
Wisconsin passed it where we can hang our stands in the trees now and leave them.
Yep.
As long as our ID number is on them, that the warden can see it. But unfortunately, there are people out there that do nothing but walk through the woods and steal stands.
Yeah, it's ridiculous.
So it just, I carry in and out every day because we might be in there and seeing a few deer, but not what we want, or they're moving, and so we'll move. My options open. I got multiple places to go, and we might hunt one spot for a day and then jump over, 50 miles away to a different spot to hunt. So we carry in and carry out every day.
So you're getting ready to go for anything. You're not trying to.
Yep.
You get all comfortable and go back and forth the same spot every day. It's going to get boring. So
yeah, well, we're comfortable out there, but I tell people straight up front, it's a hardcore hunt. This isn't. I'm not going to babysit you and carry you. We carry our own stands in. You carry your stand, I carry mine in, and we go for it.
Sure. Yeah, it's got to be. If you want to get a big buck on public land, you better work for it.
Yep. Yeah. It isn't. I have nothing against the big outfits and all that have, thousands of acres of land and food plots and all that. Good for them. I'm all for them and I back them 100%. It's just not my style of hunting. So I don't bash on them or anything, and they don't bash on me. I do my thing on public. I've always done real well on it. Actually better than most people do on the big outfitters. But, people got to be willing to work for it. You just can't come in and expect a deer to jump in your lap. You got to be willing to put in the time and work for it. And I put in all the time and work for it. And when people come into camp, they just got to be willing to do a little bit of work and head back in.
Sure. You're doing a lot of it ahead of time. You're doing all the grunt work,
Yep.
putting the boots on the pavement, you said.
Yep.
One of the other questions I had for you then, too, I'm trying to think. I just had one here. How many days or hours are you taking a group out, or a pair or a person, whatever it might be?
Most of my hunts are 3-day and 4-day. They're either a 3-day hunt or a 4-day. And I charge $750 for a 3-day and $850 for a 4-day hunt. And that's about as reasonable as you can get to come and hunt Wisconsin.
That's probably what I spend on gear on a yearly basis.
Yeah.
Just running through Cabela's and Gander Mountain, Oh, I think I need that.
Yeah, we had a guy last year that shot a 202-inch buck and he had 7 broken tines and still came out measuring 202 gross. We had another guy shot an 8-pointer that netted 248. Oh, no, 140. No, what was it? 148 or something like that. Yeah, it was 148. But it weighed 304 or 5 odd pounds. It was just a monster.
Holy freaking crap.
Yeah. Yeah.
I got to say.
When we get done, you can go to my page and you can see the pictures of them.
I'm going to. And I'll be sharing it too. I'll be sharing this on mine and vice versa, I'm sure.
Okay.
I got to tell you, Lauren, this is all music to my ears. One thing that we try to advocate for here at Where to Hunt is restoring the name of public land hunting in the state. It's got such a tarnished, crappy name because, a couple bad eggs ruin it for the bunch. And
exactly.
And
that's something that I would like to touch on if it's all right. Is that, when people are out hunting public, when you go out and hunt public, everybody's welcome out there. But if you see somebody up in a tree in a distance, go somewhere else. There's hundreds of thousands of acres. There's no reason to go in and, yes, it's public and everybody's welcome on it and everybody's allowed on it, but, be respectful of other hunters. That's the biggest beef with people with public land hunting is people come in and spoil their hunts, come walking underneath them or squirrel hunters come through or pheasant hunters or whatever. I would just ask and plead with people to please be respectful of other people out in the woods.
Sure. And I've never met I've come across hunters, what do we all have? I've never met one guy or gal or kid or, anybody that's been, nasty towards me. Usually everyone's always wondering, well, did you see anything? Did you? Well,
yeah.
Even though you don't want to tell them but you will, because if you get the nice tone and the conversational tone going past, great.
Yep.
Otherwise you just do the walk and nod and wave and you try to be as quiet as you can. You get the heck out of there.
Yep. Yep. Yeah, and me, myself, if I go in the woods and I see somebody, or usually if I pull up the parking lot and depending on the piece of property, I just go somewhere else, and it just because I don't want to take a chance of walking up on them and messing up their hunt. But that's the way I hunt. So, I wish everybody else would do something like that.
Seems like the majority can. Like I said, it's the few that kind of, the ones that are stealing trail cams.
I ain't saying there's not a lot of them, but there's a few of them out there that just, that don't respect other space, and they should.
Right.
It make it a whole lot easier on everybody and everybody get along and wouldn't have the disputes out in the woods that we have every now and then. But, overall, everybody's pretty good about it. But that'd be the one thing I'd ask for people is if they, you see another hunter in the woods, go on the other way. If you want to talk to them, catch them out in the parking lot after dark.
One other question. I didn't have it outlined here, but I just saw an article come out today that kind of talked about the northern units, or the northern unit, I guess, the northern forest unit is what they're calling it now.
Right.
That's going to be buck only. Is that going to be impacting you? I don't know how far north you are.
No, I use my zone. I'm sorry, but I'm not going to. I don't give out exactly what I hunt because it changes. It changes. But my zone that I hunt in and I guide in, you could picture it from Green Bay to I don't know, down to like Waupun where I'm at, and take that swatch all the way across the Mississippi River. That's what I guide in, and that's. Right now, that's where most of the deer are at.
Good to go. What do you think of all that, by the way? My thing is I wonder if it's going to create a surplus or an army of hunters in the southern farm units now. If people can't get bucks up there. Or does. I'm sorry, does.
Yeah. Well, they're going to be hard-pressed to get bucks, too, because of the wolf. The DNR and everybody, and got nothing against with them because I work real close with them with my business. And it isn't the wardens, it's the people in power, but they're telling everybody that it was winter kill, the hard winter and all that killed all the deer, and it's not. It's a wolf. We're supposed to have 250 to 300 wolves, and DNR say different, but from what I've talked with people that have been out in the woods, there's over 3,000 wolves up north. And it's not sustaining. The wolves are slowly moving south just like the bears are. That's what's killing all the deer. But right now, I'm kind of worried about that a little bit, but the influx of people, but we'll just have to see. And if it does, then I just hope everybody is nice and civil.
You hope. I hope so. People seem to be for the most part.
Yeah.
It's a good tradition. It's a Wisconsin tradition.
Yep.
We're proud of our heritage and our legacy that we carry. We got some of the best hunting in this country. So
Yes, we do.
I hope people can appreciate public land and know that if you work for it, you could get some big deer.
The new state archery record was killed on public land. Actually, it was killed on private land, but it was like, I don't know, 400 yards from my stand. I had him at 40 yards a couple times, 40, 50 yards a couple times, but he was behind some willows, and I didn't want to try to punch an arrow through that on that big of deer. Yeah, so it's, your chances of shooting a monster are just as good anywhere if you're willing to put in the time. For the Wisconsin people up here, just get out. I mean, there's awesome public land. I mean, just get out and spend the time and go back in where nobody else goes.
Sure.
For
me, I'm all about the adventure, so I welcome all that stuff. I mean, bring it on. If I can get a story out of it or something stupid happens to me because I'm digging in too deep, good. That's what I like, And you're not going to get those stories in that adventure unless you're going that extra mile,
Exactly.
So that's good. And then you're going to hopefully make an impression on this crew that's coming up. What was the name of can you say them? The TV guys that are coming up?
Yeah, if you don't mind, it's License to Kill Outdoors TV.
Cool.
They're on, I think, the Hunt Channel or Pursuit Channel, one of them. I can't remember. I don't have my book with me. But
I think it out.
The Hunt Channel, yeah.
When is that happening? Do you know?
They're coming up. I actually had saved 4 or 5 days so I could hunt because Halloween is my favorite time to hunt. And
put on that face paint.
Yeah. Well, I'm pretty booked up everywhere else opening weeks. My favorite times to hunt, and I think the best times to hunt to kill your chance of killing the big buck opening that first week of bow season, and then Halloween, that week to Halloween, pre-rut and just in the beginning of the rut. But anyway, so they're coming up for a 4-day hunt on Halloween this year.
Cool.
So
we'll have that to look forward to sometime shortly thereafter. I'm sure they'll have some post-production stuff to do or whatever, but
yeah, hopefully I can get them on a deer.
With everything you've said, I don't doubt that you will, or that you won't. I'm sure you can.
Yeah, I'm putting them in my very best spot. So
good. That'll be awesome. The burning question, as I had it outlined, just so people are aware, really, because people are going to ask you, so why not get it out there? Do you guarantee anything? Do you guarantee a site?
No.
Getting a deer? Good. Okay.
No, I do not guarantee anything. We're hunting, not killing.
Good.
Okay. I mean, I'll guarantee. The only guarantee I tell people is I put my time in. We'll see deer. I don't guarantee nothing. The only guarantee I give them is when they leave that stand that they were in, that tree they were in, I'll be sitting in it because it's a good tree. I wouldn't put you. There's no gar holes where I hunt. I'll put you in the tree that I myself will hunt when you're gone. So, that's the only guarantee with hunting. I mean, people that guaranteed you're going to kill a deer, you're either inside a high fence or they're lying. With hunting, if you've been hunting long enough, there are no guarantees. And I've been doing it for 43 years, and I kill deer every year, but I put a lot of time in it. And your chances are pretty good hunting with me. But there's no guarantees. They're just not. I mean, you might book a hunt and it might be raining all week. And of course I would rebook you, give you another hunt, another date, but if something like that happened, but that's a part of hunting. It's 10% skill and 90% luck.
Yep. Yeah. And the rest is just pure misery and angst and boredom. And you all do all that just for that 1%, that 1 second of pure adrenaline and excitement. The rest is
I spend 8 months getting ready for a 30-second thrill.
It's the best 30
but it's worth it. It's worth
thrill.
Every 30 seconds of it,
Yeah, right. Well, let me finish up with this. First of all, thanks again for being on the show. And before I let you go, let's share with the audience how they can get in touch with you. Where can they find you? How can they get a hold of you? How can people come to you?
You can find me on Facebook. Right now, I don't have an email page right now. I'm working on that. I got a smartphone that does 1,000 things. I don't even know how to make it do yet. I'm working on it. I got a young lady that's helping me set up a website and all. Once I have that, right now, the easiest way to find me is just go on Google Public Land Guiding and Outfitting, and it'll pop up.
Fantastic. And that's, honestly, that's Not a bad thing you don't have any of that set up. It speaks volumes to what you're actually doing, which is spending your time outside. You're not immersed in all this technology like the rest of us.
Yeah, I could care less about all this. I don't know nothing about it and don't care to learn any more than what I need to. Just give me a piece of paper and pencil, and I'm good.
That's the kind of guide I want. I want the guy that's in the woods all the time. I want the guy that knows what he's doing and knows where he's going.
Yep. Well, I'm your guy then.
All right, appreciate taking the time, like I said, out of the woods and out of your schedule to be on the show with me today. I'll go ahead and send you a link once it's done, but I got nothing left for you. You answered all my questions, so I appreciate that.
All right. Well, I appreciate you having me on the show and everything, and I wish everybody a good and lucky season, and everybody go out and be nice to everybody and kill a big one.
That's all right. All right. We'll catch you later.
All right. Thank you.
Yeah, bye.
Bye.
All right, folks, there you have it. That was our interview with Lauren Hamilton. Great interview. Want to just take a second to say thanks again for being on the show. If you are in need of a guide for Wisconsin public hunting, he's your guy. He gave you his information. You know how to get a hold of him. You know where to find him. If you're out of state and you're listening, come on up. Take a visit. It's going to cost you a little bit more, but it'll probably be worth it. I really like what he had to say, and I think there's a lot of value in his service based on his experience and his passion. And usually that's half the battle, is just being passionate for something. So very cool. Just a recap, kind of brushed up on one of the changes in the North Woods or the Northern Forest units. If anyone knows the answers to these questions, please comment or post on a Facebook page. I think that'd be fantastic if you could. Hopefully we'll have some other means for people to respond and participate in all this, but for the time being, just use that. And the questions were, do you have to be on leave if you're in the military to be hunting up there for a buck, if you can tag a buck? I'm sorry, a doe. It's the second time I've done that. The other thing is, what do you think? Do you think it's going to create a surplus there, a hunting army in the southern farmland units? And how do you think it's going to affect the herd going forward and the hunt overall? Do you think it's good for Wisconsin's future? It's good for the herd going forward? Let us know. I'd be happy to hear your thoughts. That said, I'm going to do the our big buck grunts, which is a word from fans.
Big buck grunts.
All right, and I don't know if people are fully comfortable with me calling them out without permission, so we'll get clarification on that in the future. And I do have an idea of how we can get that done. So what I did want to call out for now, though, is a page that was brought to my attention and shared with me. And, you know, I know that there's a lot of different people out in the world. There's a lot of kids that don't have opportunities to hunt the way that they should or could, or at least not like others. So one page I came across here is called Shot for Hope. Now, their goal this year is to raise enough money to send a child with a life-altering or life-threatening condition on a hunt of their dreams. So they're hoping that people can work together to make that happen. I'd say if you're listening, go check them out. It's called Shot for Hope. That's going to be my big buck grunt call for this week. I think it's a pretty cool cause. I'm definitely supporting it myself. Where to Hunt stands behind it. So get over there if you can. That said, I believe that's going to wrap up the show for today. So hope you enjoyed the interview with Lauren. And if you have some comments or things you want to respond to, please feel free. Have a great day. And as always, hunt public.